Hey, this is Gary, back live again tonight. Gonna go over Chocolatey. It is a packaging tool and that does quite a bit more than that, but I'm just going to show you the free parts of it, the open source community parts that I will then also be showing on our doc site here for our community docs that we're working on. So I'm just going to quick pull up the site here, chocolatey.org, and just to get going, they have this PowerShell command. Now, if this works great in my lab because I don't have proxies and things to that sort that get in the way. So I'm just going to go ahead and show demos, but if you have a more difficult environment to get things done, and you're going to want to take that into consideration. And they have a lot of guides on here. So let's go ahead. And now I'm going to go ahead and run this command. All right. So go ahead and paste this in. So now this will go ahead and actually install the Chocolatey exe, which go ahead and hit enter. And then we just got to wait for a moment. It's going to go pull it down from the internet and install it. And if you want to understand more about how it actually works, their documentation site is really good. All right, so now we've got it. It's telling us that we'll probably need to close and reopen to use it. So let's just go ahead and do that. Now we're going to go ahead and reopen. All right, now that we have their install platform, which as you saw was very simple. I'm going to go over here now. They have a whole list of community packages that are maintained by the community. And here's when you go to the site, they have a little disclaimer here that explain how it works. And so you can see that there is quite a bit of thought that goes into this. It's not just all willy-nilly. So it is fairly safe, but once again, if you were going to use Chocolatey in your environment, you would want to do your own tests and whatnot. In my lab, I don't test anything. I just roll with it because it's my lab, and I don't have time to do extensive testing for my lab. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say I understand. Let's go ahead and just peruse. You can go through and see all the different applications that are out here that you can then, all you have to do is type in or copy that command line, and it would then install it on the machine in question. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to keep looking here. And you can see, oh, no, next. But look, just look at this, 8,100 different applications. It's just crazy. So that's cool. Shockwave, awesome. But it's kind of fun to peruse through here and just see all the different things that have been already added. So let's see, TeamViewer, GIMP. Let's use GIMP. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, go over to my VM, and paste this in. Now, something I learned earlier in the night when I was playing with it is that I'm going to add a -y so that I don't have to click accept later on in the process. So this is going to start running. It's loading up. You can see the version of Chocolatey that's already installed, that we installed just a few minutes ago. And now it's going ahead and pulling down all the information it needs for GIMP. And here you can see it's downloading. It needs to download 229 megs out of the installer. It's going pretty quick. And you can see it's actually pulling directly from GIMP on the internet. So we'll just wait for a moment here for this to run. Now, it does have additional logging that GIMP not GIMP, Chocolatey has built in, and when it gets to the end, it will actually tell you the log that you can look at to see all the progress. So you're probably thinking, oh, this is cool. You don't have to. Nope, that's not cool. Lost my connection. Give me a second here. Live demos are always wonderful. It's coming back up. There we go. Okay, so I can install this manually. That's great. I'm not planning to run around and install stuff manually. How can I use a platform to do this? Well, so they actually have the capabilities to do that through a different subscription. So if you're interested in using their platform for doing more than just the free items, they have a pro, which would still be for your individual use, but then there's a business class model, which then provides centralized management and allows several more things. And they have a lot of documentation and videos that go into how we can leverage that. But for my lab, I don't like to pay anything. I'm a huge fan of free, and but you can also see that it's open source, so you can use it in your organization. There's no limit on machines, so you can do whatever you want with this, and so you can build this into your processes. And I will actually demo how I incorporate it in my lab using Configuration Manager here in a moment. Let's go look over here. It's still going. GIMP's a larger install, but once again, you saw all I had to do was type a single command, and it's doing everything for me from the downloading to the installing. And I didn't have to come up with any of the command line switches to make it silent. It's doing all that for me. Now, if you do customized applications, you'll probably have to dig into this more and change the package yourself. But if you are pretty much leaving the defaults, and this will work quite well for you. All right. So as you can see, though, it was basically we install the runtime Chocolatey, and then you can use that to install an app. So it's basically two commands to get you an application installed silently. So what I've done, and I'll switch over. Give me a moment to switch over. All right. So over in Configuration Manager, let's go ahead and build an application to deploy. So we're going to go ahead and create an application. Let's see here. What one do we want? Packages. You know, let's just go ahead and do Chrome. Chrome it will be. I'm just going to paste that into here for the time being so I don't lose it. I like to keep a notepad open quite a bit just as a place to copy and paste things to so I don't forget. Alright, we are going to do that, and then let's make sure on my test machine I don't actually have Chrome installed already. It would not appear so. Good. Alright, cool, look at this. And while we were waiting, it did finish the install of GIMP. So let's go ahead, and we can see here in the start menu. And then let's go ahead and take a look here. You see it was installed. It is quite the large application after it is installed. Oh, here we go. And it's loading. How handy was that? So let's go back. Oh no. I'm sorry. I didn't switch the screen back. So you didn't see any of that. Okay, there we go. Now you can see what I was just talking about. It finished up. I just launched it from the start menu, and then you can see here that it installed tonight, and it's going ahead and launching right now. And there we go. Fully installed with just 2 command lines, no prior work into it. All right, so we're gonna cut back over now to the configuration manager server, where I will now build an application out of this. Okay, so now we're over here again. Okay, so I'm starting to build my application. We're gonna do manual. What did we pick? We picked Google Chrome. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Chrome browser, and I'm gonna say Chocolatey, just to distinguish it from the other one that I have. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and click next. I'll find an icon later. Next, deployment types. Let's go ahead and make one for this. I'm gonna go ahead and change it to script installer. Do next. Name, I'm gonna call it Chrome Chocolatey. And then content location. It's on the internet. We don't need content, so we're just gonna have an install program. So what I've done is basically I wrote a very long command line that does the whole thing for you. Let me put on word wrap here, and let me make this really large so you can see it. Oh, that's too large. Okay, let's go down a little bit here. Let's try 26. That's better. All right, so this is just one long command line here. So basically, I'm launching a PowerShell command that then is actually, so this here first part is installing Chocolatey on the machine, and then it runs the second part, which is then installing the application. So we're going to go ahead and copy that command and paste it here. And then I'm going to take this whole thing, go over here, go back to my deployment type, paste that in. And I'm also going to paste the exact same thing in for the uninstall, and then just change this to uninstall. All right, we're going to go ahead and click next. So this is the tricky part. For this, it's my lab. I keep it very simple. So this is why you would want to install it on another machine first, so that you know where it's going to install to. I'm just going to guess right now and fix this later. Chrome.exe. Oh, no, that would go down here. Chrome.exe. So we'll come back to that and fix it later, but I just need to put something in there for now. We're going to go ahead and change these things for install for system and whether or not. Requirements, none. Dependencies, none. Next. All right, next. Summary, looks all good to me. Close. Okay, so now let's go ahead and find that app that we just made. And so we're going to just do a search for Chrome. And there's the one that we just made. Let's go ahead and deploy that to, I'm just going to deploy it to all users just to make life a whole lot easier. Click next. You can see since there's no content, there's nothing to do on this tab. We're just going to go ahead and accept the defaults to get it out there. All right. Click close. Okay. So now let's go back over to my test machine, which means I need to also switch it back so you can see my test machine. Order. All right, there we go. All right, so now let us open Software Center. Let's see. How fast is it? Will it be there? Let's see. Loading. Let's see. Okay. Oh, come on. There's 3 new. All right, cool. Look at that. It's already there. Chrome browser. Let's go ahead and click install. Let's go ahead and look at the log and watch as it goes. See Windows, CCM, logs, app, enforce. All right, so it's installing. You can see here that it ran the command line that we told it to, and it is running. So we're just going to let this try to install, and then we'll see what happens here. And, I would imagine this will go pretty quick. Chrome can't be too large. Should be a little quicker than GIMP was. In the meantime, let's take a quick look here. And let's see, where is it going? It looks like it's going to go here. Maybe. Let's just wait for it to finish installing, and then I'll know where it went. Alright, so it still has that process going. Let's go ahead and look at that process. So you can see that it is running currently. And you can see here that Google Update is running. So it is definitely doing something. Which, because before I didn't have Google installed. So, come on. Thanks for bearing with me as I try to do these demos live. Oh, there's the Chrome installer running. And, oh, I see an icon starting to populate on the desktop. And there we go. Google. Okay. Alright, so it says it failed because, well, we have the detection method wrong. But let's go ahead and figure out. Okay. I need to program files. Google. Alright, so I'm just going to copy that. And I'm going to place that on my server in a little text file. Google. And we're going to save that so that I have it. And then we will switch back over to my config manager server. And we will fix that app. All right, let's go in here to the detection. And in the meantime, let's open that Google. We'll copy that. I'll copy that. And we'll go in here to detection method. And we will change that to that. Okay. All right, so now we just got to wait for that policy to come down and update, and then it will actually understand that it is there. In the meantime, let me show you one that I know works because I made it earlier today. I made this FileZilla one, which is also very quick because it's quite small. Let's go ahead and install that. And I need to get better at switching back and forth. I need to do this with 2 monitors. Alright, so it's currently loading FileZilla now through the same process. And we can see on here that it is running the command, and this time it is running the FileZilla. And so it's thinking. Alright, cool. It finished and the app detection is correct on this one. So that is really cool. And once again, these didn't have any content. So it just it did install Chrome, and it did install FileZilla and GIMP all through Chocolatey. Now, so here's one thing that I learned tonight while I was playing with it. If you just go ahead and uninstall it here, it's not installing it through Chocolatey or uninstalling it that way. So it's Chocolatey thinks it's still there. So like if you were to try to reinstall it, it would error out. So you would have to then either in the command line do like a -force to just overwrite it, or you'd have to just send the uninstall command to remove it. So which is why then, and we are going to just have it run an application. Action here, application deployment evaluation, and that should hopefully fix it once it's got the policy. So hopefully it gets policy and self-corrects in the software center. Okay, let's go back, installation status. And then, so I showed earlier when we created it, basically it's exact same command line, but instead of install, we're just using uninstall. So let's go ahead and run that. And now you can see here that it is running the uninstall of FileZilla. Everything else in the command line is identical. And once again, it didn't require any content. So it's instantaneous. And there we go, it's removing. And should be done shortly. There we go. Excellent. And now it is gone. Removal completed. All right. All right. Let's go back and see if Chrome is working right now. After I updated that detection method. Since it's not here, I'm assuming it is working properly now. All right. I apologize for the background noise. Let's see. Chrome, there it is. Sure enough, fixing the detection method and then running the application scan made it so that it actually knew it was here. But let's go ahead and click uninstall on this one too, just to confirm that that is also working properly. And then let's go back to here. All right, so it did uninstall FileZilla just fine. And now we'll just wait for this to go ahead and get rid of that. I'm a huge fan of the Microsoft Edge personally. Oh, look at that. And now it is gone. So that is all working. So let's just cut back to the CM server here. So you can just one more to look at how I did that, just in case you had any questions on that. So let's go ahead and So I've got just those two apps, which I demoed both, and they both uninstalled properly after they were installed. So basically, it's just a shell of a program, and then there's just two command lines. So once again, there's no content. The programs are these two long command lines for installing and then uninstalling. And the detection method is just simple if that exists. So this does not work well if you are trying to keep applications updated. You would have to, if you wanted to use this idea, you'd have to come in here and change like the version for each time you were doing it to make sure that the detection method would allow it to overwrite the older version. And there might be ways to automate that as well. But for my lab, basically I just wanted all these applications available during OSD. And since they won't ever have an older version installed, it's always going to reach out to internet, grab the latest version, install the latest version during OSD, just so I can test like dynamic apps and a few other things, which I did demo in the demo yesterday. Anyway, I hope that was interesting for you all. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter, and I will go into explaining any of this that you like. Yeah, if you did have questions, I'm sorry I'm not reading a live chat because I just can't see everything while I'm doing this. So go ahead and just shoot me something on Twitter, and I will answer that for you. Is it possible? This generates software installation. So someone was asking about the log. I believe that is all included in their so here, let's go ahead and see what they're actually logging. All right, so looks like this is quite the long log, so they must be keeping track of everything that we're doing here. So you can see the Chrome, that it removed all the different Chrome things for it. So there is really good logging here for everything that Chocolatey does. So if you're troubleshooting, you can go here and take a look at that. Hope that helps. Of course. Sorry about this. I'm sorry that I'm not switching back and forth. I really need to get a couple screens while I'm doing this. Let me switch back so you can see that. The fun of live demos. Okay, let's see. All right, cool. It's on the Hyper-V server now. Okay, so when you install something with Chocolatey, it shows you like the log details are in C program data Chocolatey logs. So I just went to that location, and it's got a couple logs here, and this one here is already 167K. So you can tell it's logging quite a bit because I've only used it for a few applications. But it keeps track of everything that Chocolatey installs or uninstalls. So this is great for troubleshooting. And this will show what's going on behind the scenes as well, versus just what you see through like add remove programs. So I hope that answers your question. Sorry once again for not switching back and forth very well. All right. Hopefully, if anybody else has a question and they want to put it in the chat, I'm looking at the chat right now. I hope I answered. I'm once again sorry about that. And hopefully in the future I'm better at doing that. Eventually I just need to set up at a place where I have two screens so I can see what's going on, see what I'm actually recording versus just talking and looking at my screen. Well, I hope you all have a great night, and I'll catch you for the next time I do this. Thanks.